really evaluate if the staff you have on 0 hours are true 0 hours, because I think there is a push to get people off these contracts.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Workers Predictability Act. Basically, the government are going to allow 0 hours workers the opportunity to put forward a request for a predictable working pattern. Obviously, that's sort of the opposite reason why you have 0 hours workers at the moment. ACAS are currently going for a review to put forward some guidance on how employers can manage this and what the expectation is on an employer. But what we're going to really recommend to you, I suppose, at this stage is sort of having a look at what your 0 hours workers are and seeing if you can potentially move any to part-time, because this predictable working pattern might pretty much defeat the whole purpose of having your 0 hour workers. So if you guys want to just start having a little look at what you have people on for 0 hours, and it might be worth even looking at moving them to part-time at lower hours, so maybe guaranteeing 4 hours a week.
The hours you put in the contract are the minimum hours you have to offer them. You can ask them to work more than that, and that would just be typical overtime. If you're consistently doing that, they might argue to you that actually these are my hours. By custom and practice, my hours aren't 4, they're 16 if you've been given above consistently every single week. And by doing that, that's obviously going to affect their annual leave entitlement. So they could make that claim and you'd have to look at it seriously. The only detriment it'll put you at is if you've got a contract for 4 hours and you're consistently rostering more than that. Their annual leave entitlement is based on 4 hours, but what you're paying for them, you'd have to take into account all of that overtime. So their annual leave is now worth a lot more than if they were working a true 4 hour a week contract. The entitlement, so how many days entitlement they get per year, is based on the hours of their contract. Let's say 4 hours a week equals 5 days annual leave. If they work more than that, they're still entitled to 5 days annual leave, but it's not going to be 5 days at 4 hours a week. It's because they're consistently working 30 hours a week. What you pay them for each day is now worth more because their overtime needs to be taken into account when you work out how much to pay them for each of those 5 days.
Thanks for watching. If you want a free tribunal audit of your employment contract and handbook, click the link in the description below.